G'day folks, it's Rob here, and I thought I'd do a little bit of a midweek catch-up clip just for you folks here on YouTube land. It was originally just going to be for the patrons, but there's a few things I thought I'd let you have a bit of a gander at, so I thought I'd share it with everyone here on YouTube land. It might get a little bit blowy as well. Sorry, I don't have my mic. It's hidden somewhere under a pile of books and papers on my desk. I couldn't find it, and I'm sort of trying to beat the sunset. So we'll start off here at the aquaponics, and I'll give you a bit of a look at how I'm harvesting some lettuce. So just here in the aquaponics, we've got some of our rabbit ear lettuce that has gone to seed, and I don't know if you can make it out with it blowing in the breeze there, but there's a couple of little seed pods, and they're ready pretty much all to be collected. There's still some that aren't ready, but I think I've got more than enough seed there for my purposes, so I'm just going to snip the whole lot off and give you a bit of a gander. So we'll just set the camera up. So there's really no delicate way to do this. We get some scissors and we chop the stem just like that. Now what I've got here is a bucket, and I'll just tilt the camera down so you can see, and all I'm going to do is shake this flower head in the bucket, and you might be able to see the seeds collect down the bottom there. I can guarantee you that's more seeds than I need, so I will be passing some around to some friends and family. So that's stage one. From here on, all I do is pretty much I'll give these guys a bit of a rub just to get all the chaffy little bits that are connected to the seeds themselves off, and then I winnow them off. So I'll just collect the other flower head worth of seed, and then I'll give you a bit of a look at winnowing, seeing as it's a little bit breezy this afternoon. This one off now, scissors down. These guys a bit of a shake. Oh, some seeds are going everywhere. So that's more than enough for what I need. So I might just drop the bucket, folks. No! That's what you get for being in a hurry. So I'm also going to take some of these flower heads, just bang them over the grow beds here as well, just to start up the next generation of volunteers, or semi-volunteers. I'm sort of egging them along a bit. Now there was a little bit more seed in there than that, but I dropped the bucket, so we're going to have loads of volunteers on the pop up in the lawn, a few bits of leaves in here. But the next stage is pretty much all this. I just grabbed a whole heap of seeds, rub it between my hands, and what that does is it just gets any of the chaff separated from the seed itself. You don't want to rub too hard either, you don't want to damage the seed, just a gentle rub. And then from there, I'll see if I can catch this on camera. Sometimes it can be a bit tricky, but what you want is a second container. I'm using a nice shallow ice cream container. Get all the seeds out. If I just pour this now with a bit of a breeze blowing, you'll see some of the chaff blow away, with most of the seeds, some fly away, but the majority of the seeds going into the bucket. So winnowing is basically that process over and over again. Now the wind's died down on me. Oh, a little bit of a breeze there, blowing some of it off. So there you go. I've only done 4 or 5 passes, and as you can see, a lot of the chaff has been blown away. Some of the big bits from when I scooped it off the lawn in there. But yeah, a couple more passes, and I'll be able to get the majority of that out. And just to show you quickly, poor Lizzie was just down breeze. She got covered with a little bit of chaff, didn't you, dear? Hey Lizzie, got a little bit grubby, didn't you? So I just want to show you something before we go up and have a look at some of the root pouch beds. Something I've done in the aquaponics. I bought a couple of seedlings the other day. I got some variegated thyme, and that was actually quite a while back. And I also got some sweet basil. Now I had a few things go rather pear-shaped yesterday, so I couldn't get to plant these guys out. So what I've done is just popped the whole seedling punnet into the aquaponic grow bed, so the water's just touching the bottom of it, enough to keep it nice and wet, and then it falls away as the bed drains. As you can see, I didn't get to them early enough this morning. A lot of them have dried out, but hopefully they'll bounce back nicely. This time's been in there for a little while, just until I can find somewhere to put it. It was a bit of a snap purchase, something I hadn't really planned. And over here I've got a couple of zucchini I'm doing the same thing with. I only want one zucchini, and I'm actually tossing up whether I should put it here in the aquaponics. We'll just wait and see. But look at this lettuce. This lettuce is absolutely phenomenal. This is one of Mum's variety. She's been growing it for generations now. I'd say at least 8 to 10 years, so countless generations of lettuce and perfect heads. No sign of them going to seed. Nice and full. These are the sort of things we should be planting more of. I think it's just due to them becoming acclimatized to our warmer weather. They don't tend to bolt. These are some of the other volunteers Mum gave me. These are from a last punnet of mix that she planted out, and they were planted the same time as those coral lettuce, and yeah, they've already bolted to seed, and so have a few of the others over there. And I'm fairly sure I showed you the beetroot I planted out in there and in this bed last time. Oh, and Frank, over on Patreon, there's my daikon. It's got a little bit of size to the root and it's split, so it'll probably come out soon, but I will be sowing some daikon seed in one of the beds out the front very soon. Might just show you the root pouch gardens. Just to show you this one here. This one had a capsicum in it that was pretty badly hit with mites. So I've actually cut it back a fair bit to get rid of a lot of the damaged tops, and I'm concentrating all my eco oil spray just on the bottom here, just to try and get them under control. And if I can't get on top of them this time, I'm going to pull it out. This bed here has been prepped ready for our main ginger crop to go in. This will actually be our main ginger bed from now on, just up here, because it's in a nice position, and once it grows up nice and green, I'll just sort of hide the back of the aquaponics power cabinet there. And over the back we have a broccoli that has gone to flower. We're having pasta tonight that I didn't get to make last night, so this will end up going into the salad tomorrow night. We don't mind the flowers there, and the florets are nice and green still, so that'll come off then. I'm tossing up whether I'll leave it in here after I plant the ginger. We'll wait and see. And just over here we have the pouches that I set up in front of this little DIY trellis, just used recycled goods. We have the snake beans. We got 100% germination rate on them. The last one's coming through there. We do have a couple of carrots coming up. I reported to the folks on Patreon. I thought I may have washed them out, but we've got a couple coming up. Probably a little bit hard for you guys to see, but they're coming up nicely. A volunteer purple Congo potato in this ginger pouch. Another one over there in that pouch, along with a volunteer warrigal green. And our Australian native ginger is coming up nicely. And we've got 3 of the 4 Armenian cucumbers that have germinated. I actually looked back at the clip and it only looked like I put 3 seeds in, so if that's the case, we've got 100% germination. The rest of this root pouch garden's still chugging along nicely. I was going to harvest this capsicum the other day, but it's still a little bit dark, just under this one here. Oh, sorry, sweet pepper. Still a little bit dark, so I'll wait for that to get a little bit redder. The mint here. Oh, sorry, Lizzie. I just hit Lizzie with a tripod. This mint here needs to come off, and we need to start using it, mainly because we're starting to see a little bit of insect damage there. Nothing too major. A little bit of extra protein in whatever drink it goes into or meal. And our society garlic, I just noticed, has a little flower scape come up on it. Cool. I haven't seen that. So she's splitting nicely. It looks like she's enjoying this little hedge pouch, and so is the oregano up the back. Had a visit from Steve, a Facebook friend who's now a Patreon. G'day Steve and family. He dropped around a dragon fruit, so I'm actually going to trim this one off a bit and plant him out. And I have a little sunrise bumblebee tomato down here. It's a little cherry tomato to go along with the others that we have. Some broccoli shoots that are ready to come off. This one here we didn't quite get in time, so I've just left him out as bee fodder. Actually saw a number of Europeans and a couple of natives on there earlier. Down here we have our little segregation area. These guys here I think may have mites on them, so that's why they're not in with the other root pouches. This is a little San Marzano tomato. It does look like it's healthy, but I noticed some cupping on some of the leaves the other day, so I trimmed them off and gave it a good spray with the eco oil just to look after the mites. And down here I did find some aphid damage on this Okinawan spinach, so we've got the same treatment. It's just sitting there. I'll probably give it a good hose off and we'll harvest some of those greens. It'll bounce back fast enough. I just want to show you the blueberry. These are the blueberries that I planted out from a couple of clips ago. Yeah, they're doing rather well. I have been coming along and nipping off the flower buds on that one there, and that one over the back, and I'm just letting this one go. You're going to read in a post that I'll make on our website that you're supposed to take all the flowers off in the first year. I'm just experimenting with this one just to see how it goes. Over there we have a purple asparagus, still hasn't shot. I'll give you a quick gander in here before I show you one last thing. The Vegepod is absolutely booming. The Grand Rapids lettuce, some of that, I want to eat the coral lettuce, so I'll be giving some of that to Mum this weekend. The capsicum over the back here has just gone gangbusters. We have one little fruit down in there, but all the other flowers, like there's one just there, and there's a load around this side. They've set fruit as well, just up the back there. A bit hard for you to see without me damaging the plant too much. But we've got probably close to a dozen little small mini capsicums. They're the same as the other red one I showed you. They're a small compact small fruiting variety. So we've got loads of fruit on in there, and they look to be protected from fruit fly so far. The beans, I'm having a few issues with the beans. We're starting to get dry edges on some of them. Now that has happened sporadically when we've planted beans out in the past, but normally only on the first couple of sets of leaves. But yeah, on this lot, it's actually happened a little bit later on. So I'm fairly sure though they'll bounce back alright. Just close this up. So yeah, very happy with the way the Vegepod's going. One last thing is my poor neglected pineapples. We have 2 pineapples growing in a 30-litre container. Or what's that, 7-gallon container. And they've just started to both fruit. These guys were left up the side of the house through winter, and they didn't get fed up too well. So as you can see, they're a little bit brown. So I've given them a good feed with some compost, and hopefully they will bounce back and put a little bit more size onto the fruits themselves. I don't know if I can show you here, but I'll take a photo after I finish filming for you to have a look at. But we've got a load of little purple flowers all around the base of that fruit there. So I'm pretty chuffed about that. It's been a few years since we've had some decent pineapples. We've had some small ones come through just because I've been neglecting them. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some decent ones this year. Just quickly, here's a bit of a look at the mulberry tree. We had a few birds decide that it was open buffet on the mulberries, and they were doing flybys and flogging the right berries. Then the other day, after I took the netting off to grab a couple of berries for myself, I turned my back to film a clip for the Patreon folks, turned around and we had another pest in here having a feed on the berries. So what I'll do is I'll leave a little bit of a clip of that at the end, see if you can guess what sort of animal it is. But yeah, I do hope that you've enjoyed this little bit of a midweek update on just a few things going on around the patch. I will be bringing you the ginger one hopefully at the start, or probably during the weekend actually. So if you want to catch that clip, all you need to do is hit that little subscribe button, and then click the bell notification, and you'll be sent an email when it's uploaded. And if you like this one, you can give it a thumbs up. I won't complain. I'd better take these seeds inside, otherwise I'll forget them. So I do hope that you've enjoyed the clip. Oh, there's always something else to show you. Our brahmi's flowering, and so is the sage here. The sage isn't looking that crash hot. Starting to pick up on the new growth points, but we've got a couple of flowers there. So I will leave it there, folks. I do hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a catch-up, and that your own gardens and aquaponics are booming, and I will catch you online. Cheers all, have a top one. I think someone's been fed one too many mulberry from the ground. She's now helping herself. Oh, that looked ripe, Lizzie. Is it tasty? I pulled it off to grab a couple from on top. She's taking advantage of the ones down the bottom. Please continue, help yourself. Oh, this dog cracks me up sometimes. Anyway, I wanted to do a little bit of an update.